the Brainiac Corporation. Every day, a crack team of Britain's finest minds get to grips with the fundamentals of scientific knowledge and understanding. So welcome. Step inside.
Hello.
But be warned, only the hardiest of souls and strongest of stomachs can survive the worst excesses that are Brainiac. Science abuse.
Brainiac. 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 Brainiac.
Welcome to Brainiac, a science show that never bothers to read the instructions.
The big science tonight. What's the best hairstyle for a windy day? Can Super Brainiac save the world? And which aisle in the supermarket offers the best body armor?
Hey!
But first...
What man lacks in wings and feathers, he makes up for in know-how. Yes, we've built planes and spacecrafts, but what if we could adapt that technology and fly solo? So, can we launch a rocket, man?
One day, everyone will go to work with their own easy-to-control rocket pack and wave goodbye to traffic jams forever. So, can rocket power get our outer space employee to his office space in time for his morning cup of coffee?
In order to achieve this, we fitted his jetpack with 3 Corcorans, each producing a maximum thrust of 200 kilograms. We're also using Smoky John fuel, which is a slow burner, therefore should afford some kind of control to our rocketeer. There we are, the world's first rocket man. NASA never tried this. Okay, Brainiacs, clear the launch site. Take off in T-minus 60 seconds. Right, ready for liftoff. Final adjustments. Blast off in T-minus 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off!
Successfully blasting off from planet Earth, our office worker loses his bearings momentarily before correcting himself and arriving promptly at his destination, refreshed and ready for the day.
Right, well, there's the torso. The legs are over there, but it did actually leave the ground, therefore I qualify that as a success. Results, please. Thank you. When man orders his first latte on Pluto, you can't say that Brainiac scientists didn't have a little bit to do with that. Take that to NASA.
Hidden away in a secret outbuilding is the Brainiac slow-motion research facility. Inside, a small team of Brainiacs are devoted to the remarkable line of research we call things, but very slowly. So what's this week's thing, but very slowly? A bag of flour and a baseball bat. Normally, this isn't particularly interesting to watch, but let's see that again, very slowly. Slowed down 400 times, the initial impact and deformation of the bag takes place in a couple of hundredths of a second. The subsequent eruption of flour particles is then buffeted by vortices and air currents caused by the trajectory of the bat. All this in under a second. A bag of flour and a baseball bat. One more thing, but very slowly.
Here's one for you. If hot air rises, why is it colder at the top of mountains?
Things that make you go, Imagine a world without toothbrushes.
What's the best quick fix solution for cleaning your teeth? Down at the lab, we've got 4 Brainiacs and 4 options for cleaning your teeth if you're nowhere near a toothbrush. Apples, chewing gum, tissues, and liquid soap. First, we need to get their mouths even more filthy and festering than usual.
Please mess up your mouths.
To start, onions, to impregnate the mouth with a hard-to-shift odour. And garlic to force a stench into every nook and cranny. Then toffee to give the teeth an enamel-eroding sticky coating in preparation for Popeye's favourite, spinach, the undisputed king at conspicuously clinging to teeth and gums and with outstanding staining power to boot. The result is a mouth that could give the wrong impression on that all-important first date. The Brainiacs have 5 minutes to make their mouths presentable, without the use of a mirror. Quite, that would be cheating.
And commence teeth cleaning.
Biting into the crunchy, fibrous flesh of an apple provides a firm scrape right to the gum line, while the mildly acidic juices kill bacteria and whiten discoloured teeth. Chewing gum Brainiac is hoping the sticky petroleum-based polymers will detach food debris from his teeth. Masticating furiously, the spearmint could also combat his putrid breath. Tissue Brainiac is racing through his supply of man-sized 3-ply. It's working well as a squeegee on the front teeth, but will it hold up on his molars? Finally, this foul-mouthed Brainiac is washing his mouth out with soap. If detergent works on pots and pans, then why not teeth? An apple a day might keep the doctor away, but this Brainiac's having an apple every 10 seconds, and a mouthful of acid could soften tooth enamel and cause decay. Tissue Boy's struggling. His spittle-soaked nose wipes terrible on the tongue, and dry mouths are a cause of bad breath, so not looking good there. Soap contains sodium lauryl sulfate, a foaming agent found in toothpaste and other toiletries. But you need an abrasive agent to keep pearly whites white, so this Brainiac is fighting an uphill battle. Recommended by dentists, provided you go sugar-free. Chewing gum's saliva-stimulating action neutralises plaque acid and appears to have collected a fair amount of detritus there.
Time's up. Please empty your mouths and open wide.
It's time for the judging. First, apples. The teeth look clean. How about the odour? Pretty good work from the Granny Smiths with 6 out of 10 in the smell stakes. Chewing gum's clean at the back where the molars have been grinding away, but it was hard to shift the debris from the front teeth, and even the fresh minty smell can't save him. Next, tissues, and oh dear, those teeth still looking disgusting, and the smell just as rancid as normal. And finally, Soap's left behind enough food for him to have a quick snack later. His mouth smelling as clean as a baby's bottom is no consolation. And we have a result.
The best emergency teeth cleaner is apple.
So, if you need to clean your teeth in a hurry, use apples to make a good impression.
Things what my buddy does.
Hi, my name's Suzanne. The thing what my buddy does is this.
Each of your hands contains 27 bones called carpals, metacarpals, and phalanges. They're joined together by flexible connective tissue, which in the case of some people is a bit more flexible than nature intended.
It's liquid nitrogen again. Liquid nitrogen is miracle. can transform ordinary thing into extraordinary. Today, the lead bell. Ursula, bring the lead bell. Oh, she is as broad as she is long. Thank you, my sweet. Here is the lead bell. This is the bell that Ursula had hanging round her neck when she was in prison. She always said it had a very melancholic toll. But what happens when it is introduced to liquid nitrogen? Watch, extreme cold of liquid nitrogen makes all the difference. Now listen. Sounds more like ferry bell, not prison bell. Thank goodness for liquid nitrogen. Liquid nitrogen is miracle.
Will it fizzle or will it flash? The cracking chemistry conundrum posed by Dr. John P. Kilcoyne, Principal Lecturer at the University of Sunderland. So what does Dr. Kilcoyne have in his shed today?
Carbon, iron filings, sulfur, potassium nitrate. Will it fizzle or will it flash?
Carbon, iron filings, sulfur and potassium nitrate. Will it fizzle or will it flash? The answer? Flash. When combined in the correct proportions, these ingredients form gunpowder. The carbon acts as a fuel which is rapidly oxidized by the potassium nitrate, causing a spontaneous and dazzlingly bright flash.
What a great flash!
The Brainiac Guide to Microwave Cooking, bringing speed and efficiency to the domestic kitchen.
Stop! The following recipe is dangerous. Do not try this at home. Or anywhere else, for that matter.
Today's recipe is spam fritters, and you will need a small tin of chopped ham and pork with added salt water, sugar and sodium nitrate to keep it pink, and a bowl of batter. And this week's top tip, whatever you do, don't allow a petrol-filled plastic bottle bound with copper wire to enter into the microwave cavity. For a change, we're going to try and cook this on full power for 10 minutes, although cooking times may vary. Famous as a good conductor of electricity, copper isn't half bad at conducting heat as well. Burning with a bluish flame and melting the petroleum-filled plastic bottle. And before you can say, fritters, it's done. The perfect home-cooked meal for that new love of your life. And remember, we do these recipes so you don't have to. Do not try this at home.
If you've got hair, chances are you've got a hairstyle. But living in Britain, even the faintest whiff of inclement weather can doom to failure even the simplest of styles.
But what's the most likely fashion to end up in ruined hair? What's the worst hairstyle to have on a windy day?
Step out onto any high street and you'll find literally dozens of hairdos. Here, the ladies' long style, specially curled as if for a night out. The afro, heavily volumized, that one. The perm, lacquered for a night out at an organ recital. The Mohican looks like a young cockatiel. And for a little bit of control, the standard short back and sides. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats for the experiment.
Yes, we're going to find out how each of these mops hold up in a strong breeze. All we need is a strong breeze.
Something like Chicago, the Windy City, in windy season. But sadly, it's not Chicago, the Windy City, and it's not windy season. But that's no problem, because we've got one of these!
It's a 300 horsepower aircraft engine and propeller. So, Can the wind of 300 horses turn these firmest of hairdos into hair-don'ts?
Unleash the hurricane!
Our fan produces wind speeds of up to 60 miles per hour. Measured on the Beaufort scale, that's force 10. Enough to cause structural damage to buildings, which is why we've given them safety glasses.
This long hairstyle here, which is curled, it seems to be holding up fairly well.
The afro's taking a hell of a battering here. It's really rubbing that backwards.
The perm seems to have almost disappeared completely from sight. The Mohican, it's aerodynamically designed, but that front is really starting to force its way backwards. It looks to me like the short back and surge is really doing the best out of the lot. Okay, tell it!
Put that there. I think we need to increase the ferocity of this simulation.
This time we're going to throw leaves and water into the airflow so as to emulate the horrendous weather conditions of Burnham-on-Sea on a summer's day.
Unleash havoc in the shape of foul weather.
The Beaufort wind scale, named after the admiral of the same name, originally stopped at force 12, hurricane, but in 1955 it was extended to force 17, presumably to account for a really big hurricane. Our big blower only huffs at about force 10, but it's creating rather spectacular horizontal rain and dispatching our old lady's perm into the far corner of hair world. The water-soluble gel of our punk rocker's hair is making it the last of his Mohican, and even the glamorous tresses of the lovely lady are getting bedraggled. But there's no shifting the afro, and that's short back and sides.
Hey, cut the fan! That's the fan cut. Let's examine the damage. Right then, well, the lady's night out hair seems to have completely collapsed there. She wouldn't be enjoying a good night out in the town. The afro seems to have acted as housing for sycamore leaves. The perm, with its lacquer, no. This Mohican is just miserable. It's just completely collapsed. But I suspect, yes, it's quite true, the winner is the short back and sides. Although, an imposter! The winner of the best hairdo on a blustery day is the afro. Let me just remove that leaf for you and give you a little bit of a back fluff.
Dr. Bunhead on the pull. Where every other Tuesday, science's biggest loser hits the town hoping his special mix of near-fatal charm and half-baked experiments will finally get him a girlfriend.
Hello, mind if I have a seat? If I did something really brave and fearless, would you go on a date with me?
Very
Hang on. Before you make your mind up, every girl loves one of these. Just a bit of washing up liquid, novelty kitchen lighter. We'll need that a bit later. See, you're excited already. And some highly flammable gas. I see you're drinking water there. Just excuse my hand.
Ooh, revolting.
It's important for the experiment. Just pop this, that's right, just pop a little washing up liquid into it. Then we're going to collect the highly flammable gas. No, you like this, look. Pop some of it in there and a little bit more. You need to get quite a lot. It's filled with hydrogen, which is lighter than air, and that's why it goes up in the air. And then what I'm going to do is catch some of these bubbles filled with highly flammable gas. And this is the really brave bit, and I bet no man has ever done this for you before. What I'd like you to do is set fire to them.
Excellent.
With that, actually, I don't know if I've got enough. How much is up there? Can't see.
That's a good...
Okay, have a go.
Sure.
Just, look, this is how brave I am. I do this just for you. Go on. How brave am I? Look at that. Will you go on a date with me, please?
No, thank you. Definitely not.
You got any sisters? What about your mum?
No.
I can do science, me.
Every year, the I Can Do Science Me open auditions attract literally several would-be scientists. Not every idea is a winner, but our Charlotte is so dedicated that she will listen to each and every question the population wish to put to her.
Name?
Lisa.
Number?
64.
Dear Brainiac, I love tea. Do you? Exciting stuff. And I want to know, how high can you pour a cup of tea from? Pouring tea. I don't know why, but I'm going to let her find out. Go on.
This is the science you want done. We just give you the tools for the job. With the exception of the giant ruler in the corner, this is how we imagine one of Lisa's tea parties to look. Yes, because she has no proper job, Lisa has both her friends over 3 times a week for tea and scones. Or scones. Pouring the cold milk in first to stop it from scalding, we're off at a height of 50 centimetres. And yes, Lisa would be glad to serve that cup of tea to her guests. She signals her approval to the Brainiac, who carries on writing her weekly shopping list. Because the hydrogen end of a water molecule has a positive charge and the oxygen end a negative, the molecules pull together to create surface tension, providing a steady flow of teeming tea. Really, this is just about how good the Brainiac's aim is and how wet Lisa would let her guests get before she allows them to go home. Another cup, another height. And at nearly 2 metres, Lisa finally finds this level of service unacceptable.
Her name is Lisa. She wanted to know what's the highest you can pour a cup of tea from. The answer? 160 centimetres.
I can do science, me.
Come in. Stand over there for me, please. Right, Mr. Tickle, what can we do for you today?
Nurse, I'm bored. Can you show me something interesting I can do with my body?
Certainly. Try this. Please bend down and put your head against the wall.
Okay.
Now lift the chair.
Okay.
Try and see if you can stand up.
In this position, your centre of mass is shifted out beyond the area of your feet, meaning that you only stay balanced because your head is touching the wall. If you try to stand up, you will fall. Curiously, women's bodies are different, and they're usually able to do this.
You can't do that.
I can't. How frustrating. Well, thanks, nurse. That'll keep me amused for hours.
Not at all. Goodbye, Mr. Tickle.
Goodbye.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show that puts you on the end of the plunger. Brainiac for a Day, with your hosts Dolly Boy and Dolly Girl. Every week a lucky viewer gets to don the famous yellow t-shirt and hat for an unforgettable day as a Brainiac. This week's Brainiac wannabe is Tim, a pizza chef from Thetford. Tell us, Tim, what is it you're going to be blowing up today?
A greenhouse full of tomatoes.
And what a special greenhouse full of tomatoes this greenhouse full of tomatoes is! The pizzeria Tim works at insists on making fresh tomato sauce, so Tim has to painstakingly peel thousands of tomatoes every week. The whole time he argues with himself over whether tomatoes are a fruit or a vegetable, and he's driven himself literally raving mad. But before he gets down to business, he needs to transform from Pizza Chef Tim to Brainiac Tim! Now he's got to spin that wheel of explosive fortune to discover which chemical will be blowing up the greenhouse full of tomatoes. The arrow has spoken! It's a cutting charge! What a surprise! And what an explosive! Oh, there's no time to get excited because that's the siren, the signal for Tim and our dollies to get the hell out of the way. Our explosive expert sets the charge. A cutting charge is not a toy and should only be handled by responsible adults like this one. As always on Brainiac for a Day, our motto is safety first,
Brainiac second!
There's just time for Tim to say goodbye to his tomatoes. And up she goes! What a blast! Everyone loved that one, Tim! A cutting charge contains a thin, flexible tube packed with explosive penthrite, like cheese in a stuffed crust pizza. It slashes like a knife, dicing the greenhouse and its resident tomatoes like an angry Italian chef. Well done, Tim. That's what we call the greenhouse effect.
Thank you, Brainiac, for making me Brainiac for a day.
Yes, no problem, Squire. Here at Brainiac, we're nothing if not a safety valve for society's weirdos. Oh, and Tim, cheer up. Tomatoes are great for the skin.
Dear John, when I play football on a cold day and get hit by the ball, I'm sure it hurts more than on a warm day. Am I imagining this? And if not, what's going on? That's from Nigel Dempster in Carlisle. Well, Nigel, does pain hurt more if you're cold? I know just how to find out. To put this to the test, we've got a Brainiac in a warm environment. How are you, Brainiac? Good. Don't know why I asked, don't really care. Come with me, because we've also got a Brainiac in a cold environment. Good lad. So that's all set up. Now we need some pain. As you can see, we've been joined by our old friend, the Shaolin monk. We need to administer pain, and who better to deliver it accurately than our man here? Lovely. Right. Here's what's going to happen. Brainiac's going to get out of his nice warm sleeping bag and proffer his thigh to our monk here. The monk will then give him a firm slap. Brainiac will give us a pain rating out of 10 and also tell us how long the stinging sensation lasts. OK, Mr. Monk, do your worst. Yeah, that looked like it hurt. Pain rating out of 10 for you, Brainiac? 7. Do let us know when the stinging sensation subsides, won't you? OK, I reckon that's about 15 seconds. Moving on. OK, Brainiac, assume the position, you know the score. Now, in your own time, Mr. Monk, would you please administer the slap? Oh yeah, that looked like it hurt. Pain rating out of 10 for you, Brainiac? 9, good solid score. And do let us know when the pain subsides, won't you?
Exposure to cold weather causes the hypothalamus gland in the brain to release the hormone thyrotropin. This leads to an increase in the size of the thyroid, which then releases higher quantities of the hormone thyroxine. Thyroxine increases the sensitivity of the entire nervous system. So any pain you receive hurts much, much more.
27 seconds. And there's your answer, Nigel from Carlisle. If you get hit by a football on a winter's day, it's going to hurt far more than if you got hit on a warm day. Or your big girl's blouse.
There are some experiments that can't be done in a lab. They can only be done undercover. If you want to get money from a stranger for the bus, what's the best way to dress? Chap or chav? For this, we're going to need a smart outfit, a not-so-smart outfit, and an average Joe to put them on. First, he's in a suit. Let's see how he does as a chap.
Sorry to bother, you haven't got 20 pence at all, have you, for the bus? I'm in a real rush. Oh, lovely. Thanks very much. Lovely. Thanks a lot, fella. Have a good week. Oh, cheers, mate. Oh, thanks very much.
A man in a suit isn't someone you think would need to beg money for a bus ride.
Thanks very much. You're an absolute gem. Excuse me, fellas, you haven't got 50 pence.
Psychologically, a suit is associated with command and authority, so strangers are happy to hand over money without asking questions.
That's brilliant, gents. Thanks very much. Yeah, I need £1 for the bus. I'm in a bit of a pickle.
It's okay.
Oh, thanks very much, mate. Much appreciated.
Next, we'll fit him out like a great British chav.
Ladies, have you got 20 pence at all for the bus? No. You got 20 pence for the bus at all? See, you got your hands full. You haven't got 20 pence, have you, for the bus at all? You haven't got 20p, have you, for the bus at all? I'm very short. No.
The nylon clubber has none of the connotations of authority and honesty that the suit possess. And he looks like he's more likely to spend your hard-earned money on a sovereign ring. Strangers just don't want to know.
You got 50 pence for the bus? Mate, sorry, could you help me out with 50 pence for the bus at all?
But don't be fooled by appearances. A suit may not be as honest as you think. Professor Mayang Lee, bringing beauty as well as brains to the world of Brainiac. Recently, the prof's been having fun in her garden with her new favourite toys, a stunning pair of steel balls. By abusing the gravitational field of the Earth using a piece of string and a stepladder, Professor Mayang is able to unleash her pendulous orbs on unsuspecting objects. Today, it's the office laser printer. Bought back in the days when 4 pages per minute was seen as lightning fast. Will Mayang Lee's balls of steel shatter or shunt? It's a shatter! Absorbing all the kinetic energy that Professor Lee's steel balls could muster, the laser printer's side panel is smashed like cheap plastic, leaving it to print, copy, fax, whatever that means, no more. Thanks, Professor. You're one of a kind. Today, our frame contains 2 layers of bubble wrap. A cellular cushioning material formed of pliable transparent plastic covered in air-filled hemispheres. It's very effective at protecting fragile objects, as well as being highly prized for its stress-busting properties. This Brainiac will run full speed towards the bubble wrap, but will he break through, or will he bounce off? It's a breakthrough! It might be good at protecting your delicate china in transit, but that bubble wrap is no match for a not-so-delicate Brainiac running at full speed. 2 layers of bubble wrap, a thing you can run through. Over the years on Brainiac, we've examined various items of improvised body armour. First, we found the best room in the house to run for. The kitchen. Then we identified the best place in the office to find good protection, the stationery cupboard. And now we're asking, if civil war were to break out whilst you were in the supermarket, which food items would offer best protection?
Here we are in our imaginary supermarket scenario. 3 mannequins playing the parts of 3 different types of shopper. The couch potato, the health food fanatic, and the housewife. In their trolleys, a selection of groceries that might be found on such a person's shopping list. We kit them out in improvised body armour made from the contents of their trolley, and then we shoot them.
Mannequin number 1 is a typical couch potato. He's getting a slab of lagers as a breastplate, meat pies on the arms, and those packets of crisps make perfect headgear. Mannequin 2 is a health freak. Bags of beans and lentils for belly protection, and the all-important veggie helmet. And finally, the housewife. Turkey Sunday lunch for torso protection, bumper-sized bottles of squash, and family-sized pizzas up top.
Let me show you my arsenal. 3 weapons popular in a civil uprising. The catapult, the longbow, and the crossbow. Without protection, any of these instruments of war would do you severe damage. So let's see how our DIY supermarket armour does. First, the Pro Diablo catapult. Let's see how that lazy couch potato's shopping stands up to the catapult. It penetrated the lager, but did it penetrate the mannequin? It hasn't actually gone through the tins. That ball bearing is somewhere lodged inside one of those tins, so he would have lived yet. Next, it's the healthy eating kit. I've got him in the lentils. Look, there's a hole there, but it went in and didn't come out the other side. Next, it's the housewife stroke husband. Let's see if that frozen turkey is any match for my balls of steel. Well, that hit and ricocheted right off, so what we need is a bigger weapon.
After the first wave of attack, all three mannequins are still alive, but will their armour protect them against the next assault?
The might of the English longbow. Oh, see that? That was like the blood spurting from the heart of the lager. It's gone into the lager there, but it hasn't come out the other side. So it looks like couch potato is going to withstand any onslaught by English bowmen. Look at that, amazing. OK, Mr. Healthy Eater. The catapult made a little hole in his lentils, but how will he fare against the longbow? Well, it went right in between the lentils and the oats. In between. There may be a lesson learned there for Healthy Eating Boy to do a little bit more tight packing on the armour. Mr. Housewife. That frozen bird was like a shield of steel to the ball from the catapult, but how will it fare against an arrow? Yay! Right in the bird. Well, it's gone in about 3 inches, but it's not come out the other side, so Mr. Housewife is safe.
After the second onslaught, Health Food Boys are goner, whilst Couch Potato and the Housewife are standing firm. But it's time for the most lethal of our projectile-flinging devices.
The sinister crossbow. Now, this is lethal. The arrow, or bolt, fires at up to 130 miles an hour. Stand back, couchman. Ooh, see that? Let's see if it went through. Well, that's where the catapult went, and this is where the crossbow went. But this has gone all the way through the other side and right into the guts. Wiped right out. Next. OK, ready? Reloaded. Aim. Right in the oats. The bolt's in there, gone right through and into his right breast. Brilliant. Next. The housewife and his golden Norfolk turkey. Whoa! It hit the bird and bounced right off. Look! Here it is, here. So there we are. If you're in the supermarket and civil war breaks out, whether under attack by catapult, longbow or crossbow, a frozen turkey is your best bet.
Here's one for you. When does an arch become a tunnel?
We're attaching electric cables to a well-loved, well-paid British, well, Danish celebrity. Will she still be able to do her glamorous day job whilst being electrocuted by our Brainiac? This week, it's star of Strictly Come Dancing, Camilla Delarup. We've got a special nimble-footed routine for her to perform whilst our Brainiac electrocutes her. Ballroom dancers are trained to smile their way through the most strenuous routines. And Camilla's putting on a brave face. As in everyone's muscles, Camilla's nerve cells communicate with each other using electrical signals. The big shocks we're administering override these signals, causing her to spasm.
Dancing's supposed to be fun.
Well, Camilla, it looks great fun from here.
Oh, I can't move.
So, can Camilla still do her glitzy day job whilst being electrocuted? Yes! Thanks, Camilla. That was an almost faultless performance. 47-second science. Big science questions in bite-sized chunks. Is it easier to push a heavyweight or pull it? No, they're not trying to work out the answer in their heads. That would be impossible for their tiny brains to compute. This is going to require brute strength. Whether this Brainiac moves the couch and its resident couch potatoes depends on the overall weight and the friction between the sofa and the ground. By pushing on the sofa, the Brainiac will also be pushing the sofa slightly into the ground, increasing its downward force and so increasing the effects of friction. He's making the job harder, and he can't shift it. Time for plan B. Attach a tow rope and tug on it like you've never tugged before. By pulling the sofa, he's more liable to lift it slightly, momentarily reducing the downward force of the couch and lessening the effects of friction, enabling him to overcome the inertia of the object and get it moving. So, there you have it. Conclusive proof. It's better to pull a heavy sofa with your mates on it than to push it. But you might have to ask one layabout to walk if you're in a hurry to get somewhere. 47-second science. Big science questions answered in bite-sized chunks.
Is it a bright yellow pyromaniac? Is it a fluorescent madman? Yes, it's Super Brainiac! The result of an experiment that trebled his IQ to 42. His mission, to rid the world of toxic caravans. Super Brainiac, saving the world with science. Somewhere in the foot-and-mouth-ridden countryside, a farmer is on his way to burn some turkeys that were seen sneezing at the weekend. Then, disaster! This toxic caravan is a sinister force. Its only purpose, to stop simple rural folk from passing on their way. It must be stopped, and there is only one person to call. Meanwhile, in Brainiac HQ, the man known to his mom as Winky Winky Woo is ready as ever. In the twitch of a rabbit's nose, he transforms using his plasma energy. And not forgetting the key ingredient, methane. Just time for that all-important lever-up. Faster than you can fill out a form for subsidies, Super Brainiac arrives and decides on the perfect science for the job. Today, that science is linear cutting charge, left over from Brainiac for a day. Super Brainiac carefully lays the charge. Flexible sticks of C4 explosive encased in plastic. There's just time to get to a safe distance, and the bargain detonator that Super Brainiac bought from the pound shop. E-I-E-I-O! Old MacDonald's farm has here a bang, there a bang, everywhere a bang bang, as the cutting charge makes mincemeat of that pesky caravan. If you need to cut a hole in a hurry, then this is the stuff for you. A precision explosive. See how the cutting charge sends the caravan precisely where it belongs. As the shabby chalet on wheels kisses planet Earth goodbye. Another job well done. Super Brainiac, saving the world with science.